Afternoon, everybody. I'm Linda Conway, Executive Director for New England Newspaper and Press Association. Thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to have Kevin Berrier here. Kevin's going to talk about AI in marketing and advertising for us. Kevin has a lot of experience in this. He's the marketing director for MDDC in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm sorry, Maryland, Delaware, DC Press Association. He has over 2 decades of experience, and he's renowned for creating impactful, customized marketing campaigns nationwide. Kevin excels in developing omni-channel marketing strategies that blend traditional methods with cutting-edge approaches. His expertise in integrating AI-driven tools has enhanced productivity, communication, and strategy optimization throughout his career. Kevin's an innovative thinker, and he uses AI to create immersive marketing experiences that captivate clients and audiences. As a sought-after speaker, he inspires professionals with his insights on marketing trends and AI's future. His commitment to excellence in industry innovation solidifies his status as a thought leader, continually shaping the future of marketing. Kevin has a lot of information to share with us today, and we're really excited about it. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat, and we will answer them as we go along. And we'll also have time at the end for Q&A. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Kevin.
Perfect. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. And just want to make sure, Linda, can you see my Embracing the Future screen?
I can see it. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to geek out a little bit. I promise there will be some geeking out over AI and marketing and advertising. I'm going to hopefully share some insights through using myself actually as a case study and how our agency used AI to land a top 10 client. So we'll go over that. We'll go over kind of what AI is, what top 4 AI platforms are really out there. And then, like Linda said, there'll be time during, to ask questions. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat and we will do our best to get to them. And if not, we'll have some time at the end. Also at the end, I'll have a QR code where you can get my business card, and I have a free gift for everyone who's attending here at the end. So as we get towards the end, get out your QR code readers and be ready for that. All right, here we go. So what is AI? So AI is in the aspect of what we'll be talking about today. AI actually is machine learning, which is actually not AI, but AI as it's jumped onto the main stage is essentially a computer being able to perform tasks that would typically require fully and wholly human interaction. Things like problem solving, data analysis, pattern recognition, which falls into, let's say, performance analysis, and different things like decision making. And we as an agency, we're a small agency, a small but top performing agency out of the Maryland, Delaware, DC Press Association. We're Baltimore based. So we adopted AI very early and very quickly, really out of necessity. And it really helped us increase our efficiency, our accuracy across, various industries that, we have clients for, our productivity. And it really allowed us to ensure that things weren't falling through the cracks, informed decisions could be made, processes were streamlined, and overall we could enhance our customer experience. So AI really, and I'll keep harping this as we go along. AI is a tool. It's not a replacement. It is not replacing us. That's going to be, the onus will fall on us to ensure that we're using it as a tool without us being the nail and it the hammer, which it can very easily do. I want to talk a little bit about really the top AI platforms that exist out there. Some of this information you may know, some of it you may not. Apologize. I'm not sure the bandwidth of AI acumen of those that are watching here today. But the first will be ChatGPT. ChatGPT was the first to hop onto the scene. Developed by OpenAI, ChatGPT really kind of hit the stage in November of 2022, but really hit the world main stage January of 2023 by launching its public-facing LLM model, or large language model platform. It's capable of, generating content. It can help brainstorm advertising concepts. It really performs well in tasks that you give it. When you give it a structured input, it'll provide you a structured output. Things like creating, ideas for ad copy that have specific formatting or constraints. If you're creating ad copy for Meta or Google Ads is another great one. There's a lot of character constraints within Google advertising. AI really does help propel you forward in being efficient as a copywriter for you. And all in doing that, you engage with it in a conversational way. Its conversational interface is very, very robust and continues to grow pretty considerably. I actually first gave an introduction to AI at our press association conference on short notice. We had a speaker that got COVID. It was our first year back in person from the whole COVID pandemic. So I had to stir up a presentation pretty quickly, and using, just using the idea of AI and using AI to create a presentation about AI really helped, me be efficient and me be effective in how I address that. The next one's Gemini. So this is Google's product. And Gemini, or an iteration of Gemini, has actually been around for a very long time. It's worth noting that artificial intelligence has been around for a very long time. It actually was really first conceptualized back in the 1950s. And then kind of stayed behind the scenes in laud and was used in many different applications, including Silicon Valley and big tech, from a machine learning perspective. For Google, it was Bard. They called it Bard. And Bard was the machine learning algorithm within their Google Ads manager platform. Bard allowed Google advertising budgets to be spent paced out and in real time. It allows for like bidding optimization. Bard powered their responsive text advertising, where it could take a list of headlines or headers and a list of descriptions and kind of cobble together the best headers with the best descriptions that were of the highest performance to optimize the campaign's overall performance. And Google chose to, and honestly first, to jump in the game with taking a piece of machine learning they already had and start developing it into a public-facing AI. Just ChatGPT and OpenAI kind of jumped in first. I'm not a super fan of Gemini, primarily because we don't use Google Suite within our agency. We use MS365, and Gemini is really geared around incorporating into Google Suite. You have to use Google Sheets and use Google Docs, and it's all kind of housed within its ecosystem. It's basically it's Google's version of what Copilot is for Microsoft 365, if anyone's ever heard of Copilot. But I feel Gemini is still a little bit clunky, but it does do a pretty good job at data analysis when it's working. But I digress. Gemini is getting better and better every day. And it also has the ability for predicting user behavior or predicting data trends moving forward, and that kind of falls akin to their using how they use it for Google Trends, Keyword Planner, and for like Google advertising within the Google Ad Network product itself. The third one that I've found not a lot of people know about, because they kind of quietly walked onto the stage mid 2023, is Claude. Claude AI, developed by Anthropic. They bill themselves as the ethical AI. Incidentally, when you ask Claude what makes Claude ethical, it doesn't give a good answer. It doesn't really give an answer at all. So take the ethical billing as you will. But what I have found Claude to be really good for is providing more human-like responses. It can take text, perhaps from ChatGPT. If I want to create 25, social captions for a home lender that is geared around a trending search query, which could be like, what first home buyers need to know. ChatGPT can give me 25 kind of human sounding responses. I can then take that into Claude and say, make these sound more human. And it does a great job. In doing that, that's AI stacking, which is a topic for another day. But Claude is really good at sounding more human and crafting different messages. It can handle pretty large and complex language tasks. You could have it create, a detailed outline for a blog about a specific topic that you want to create. And again, it notes that it prioritizes ethical considerations, which by and large can align well with brands. If brands are using AI, they should be able to feel a bit more protected that the content or outputs that Claude is providing is going to stay within the protections that the brand requires. Which, if you're using AI in marketing in your agency or in your sales process, having that for like transparent advertising practices is a really important thing. And then lastly, I'm going to bet most of you haven't heard about this unless you're an AI geek like I am, but Perplexity. So Perplexity technically is an AI. It's a search engine, but it's a search engine that's powered by multiple AI platforms or multiple AI models. It's primarily built on OpenAI's platform and uses multiple AIs to support in giving search queries or executing search queries that users want to have executed. It could be as easy as, let's talk about AI stacking again. If I want to create social content, the first thing I'm going to need to know are what are the trending questions that are being asked in my industry. And if I'm doing social content for a home mortgage lender, one trending question that is asked is currently trending on search engines is what first home buyers need to know before purchasing a home. And taking that topic and having then ChatGPT create 25 pieces of content that you then go and drop it into Claude to make sound more human. It really all kind of stitches together really well. But it uses AI technology to really give really precise and relevant answers to different queries while providing sources. In my use of it, I have not found that it has veered towards, a specific sector of type or specific type of sites. The sources that have always been cited when I have used it have always been robust. For example, National Association of Realtors was a site that came up on top trending questions in the mortgage lending industry. So, I have found that its sourcing is pretty good. It does a great job at understanding natural language inputs. You can talk to it like it's a virtual assistant, which makes the interactions that you have with it really intuitive and user friendly. It understands ambiguity, and I'll talk a little bit about what that means for Perplexity and actually all the AI models that I've shared here in a little bit. And again, while I'm going through all of this, I am deep diving a ton of information out. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I will make sure to answer them for you.
Kevin?
Yes.
I have a quick question from William. He asks, is there an article or book that compares the 4 AI platforms that you've reviewed today, just so we could learn some more?
There sure are. It's all over the internet. You're going to find marketing geeks like me that are putting up their analysis on which AI is the best. If you ask 10 different, AI geeks or AI engineers, you're going to get 10 different answers. And the primary reason is because AI is still new. And I'll talk about this in one segment. AI is really, it's a toddler. It's so new within the space. It's very swampy. There are new AI platforms coming out, dozens a day, that are using kind of these big four in some capacity to perform some sort of task. It could be, you know, a platform. Syllabi.ai is a great example. It uses ChatGPT and Perplexity to go out on the internet, find trending questions, and then create short form vertical videos. It creates the script. It has AI voice enhancing that can actually vocalize the script for you. And they've just output faceless video options, which is a trending video option right now within the social space. It's a pretty good platform. There's 5 other platforms that claim can do the same thing and don't do it very well. So I always encourage play around with them, use them personally. So I'm a single dad, and anyone who's a parent knows parenting is tough, and I love my kids to death, but they are it's a lot. And even just trying to figure out, like, what can I cook tonight? Chat GPT, I can take a picture of what's in my fridge and it'll tell me based on what it sees what I could make for dinner. So I started using AI personally to see how it could make my personal life as a parent more efficient. And then once I found it was an incredibly powerful tool, I could then really translate that over into my profession and my agency. So the World Wide Web is your oyster. There's no book that I know of that's really comparing the four, because it's changing every day. ChatGPT has gone through 6 iterations since November 2022. All the AI has, so it really hasn't rested on its heels yet. So I think it's probably early for a book, but there's a lot of content online that people will give. Here's why I think Gemini is better than ChatGPT. I'll say here's why ChatGPT is better than Gemini. If that makes sense. Great question. So what I'm going to talk about today, as I'm sharing myself essentially as a case study, I'm going to talk in the idea of I primarily use ChatGPT, especially at the time when this sale happened for us. We were fully using ChatGPT. We have a paid version of ChatGPT. I think it's $20 a month. That gets you ChatGPT 4.0, which is their latest iteration. ChatGPT has the GPT store. It's very open sourced. ChatGPT allows you to create your own GPT model. For example, I've created my own GPT model that only exists to analyze data for me, advertising performance data. I have another GPT specifically that I've built out of OpenAI's platform to create content. And others have done that as well. And they put that up into the GPT store. And now you have access to all of these great options. In that said, a lot of them are great. Some of them are really bad. So, it can be frustrating to work with AI, especially as you get your feet wet on how to prompt, what kind of prompting works for you, massaging your prompt to make sure that it's, providing an output that has a brand tone that you're looking for, if it's content creation, or, providing a digital performance summary that's client ready. But really, once you get in and once you get going, it's incredibly powerful. ChatGPT also has an enterprise version that they've launched. Google, I believe, has Claude. I know they're working on it, where your data is more private. Keeping in mind any information that you're feeding into an AI model, understand that data will probably not be private. So as you're working on, as you're using AI for a client, for example, make sure that when you're putting data in, that you're protecting their data as well. The data in which you're putting in is helping train the LLM, the large language model, or ChatGPT, for example, as a whole. So just understand it's kind of that open community sandbox. Also, it has a mobile app. The mobile app is awesome, which includes using touch-free conversational interacting. I am interested, not to get political, but I'm interested in the political scene. Never heard of JD Vance. And as I was driving to go pick up my kids, I actually was just having a conversation with ChatGPT on, tell me more about who he is and, what his platform's about and all this stuff, so you can do that very efficiently and effectively. I did that earlier this week and was really amazed at how effective and efficient it was. So you're able to actually have a conversation now with ChatGPT, which is pretty powerful. My kids love it. My kids love talking to it and asking it funny questions and hearing the funny answers that come back. So as I mentioned, AI is not perfect. It's basically the equivalent of a toddler right now. You'll hear in the world of AI the word hallucinating. Hallucinating is the act of AI not providing back an accurate answer. A good example of this is I had a client before they were my client used AI to create like Monday motivational, inspirational posts that they could just kind of schedule out on social media and have run. And the problem is when they say quotes, it's going to attach a person in which the quote allegedly was said by. And there was a quote that I think they used ChatGPT that ChatGPT put out. I don't remember what the quote was, but they tied it to Winston Churchill. And when they posted it out on Meta, Meta actually froze their accounts. Either someone reported it or their third party independent review flagged it. But there was question as to whether or not whatever the statement was or, inspo quote was, did Winston Churchill really say it? You search it, it seems like there's debate over it. So it's pulling information from the World Wide Web and from its data sources that may not be necessarily accurate, or it just may be hallucinating. So understand that whenever you use AI, you are accepting a grade of risk on the information that it's providing to you. So if you take that information and blindly use it without spot checking it or doing a deep dive on the checking, you are assuming a lot of risk. When I asked AI to give me a picture, to create a picture of AI hallucinating, this is what it came up with. So take that as you will. So I want to share with you an experience I had. So again, we're a small agency. I think we make ourselves look pretty good at being a 3,000-pound gorilla on the block, but in reality, it's just me. So we got an email from our lead form on our website from, actually it was a regional trucking company, and that regional trucking company wanted to get bids for a quick turnaround campaign, recruitment campaign. They needed drivers, and it was within our DMA and areas surrounding, and they were very prescriptive on what they wanted. They wanted to do digital recruitment advertising. They noted that they wanted to specifically do it on 3 different social channels: Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. So, it came in at like 9:30 on a Tuesday morning. My day was already slammed. They needed it by EOD. It was very kind of almost tyrannical at how quickly they needed it. And they let me know that the winning bid was going to be based on quality of recommendations and price, which is, I know we've all heard that many a times. So I realized to myself, as I've been doing marketing for 23 years now. And I realized that I only had a very short stint way back in the day in 2001 in classifieds, where I was engaging in recruitment advertising. And in 2001, recruitment advertising was a very different thing than it is now. As a marketer, I know what recruitment advertising is. I know, how to structure it, but it's not a strength in my stable of capacity. So I started utilizing AI. This is really the first kind of outward way I started using AI to help progress me forward to a sale. So I asked it, and this is with ChatGPT. I said, I'm meeting with a regional trucking company to bid on doing their digital recruitment advertising on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. What are some specific targeting tactics? I wanted to see what targeting tactics would it provide? And the first targeting tactic was interest-based targeting. Duh, I know that. Geographic targeting. Duh, we know that. Demographic. All of these, demo, geo, and behavioral, right? Those are the 3, that's the trinity of targeting. That was the obvious. But then it goes into things like, considering lookalike audiences, which I think with enough time, I would have definitely come to that conclusion. But it brought me to that conclusion just a little bit faster. it says focus on job title targeting, maybe for perhaps, those that are looking to change positions. That was also kind of a give me. But then educational institutions, the ideas of geofencing different vocational schools or driving training schools was a great idea that honestly, I under quick notice, when I have, 50 plates spinning, I probably wouldn't have come to that conclusion. So that was really the first kind of aha moment on me on like, okay, that's providing me an answer or giving me insight that I probably wouldn't have readily come up with immediately, given the time that I was given. So I'm feeling pretty good at the information it's giving me. I'm feeling like at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let Jesus take the wheel. I'm going to fall wholly into AI on this, and I want to see what happens. So really, it was a grade of practicing. And the trucking company gave me some data on zip codes within their service area, total positions that exist within each zip code, and then total positions left to fill. So they gave me kind of 3 pieces of data. They gave it to me in a Word document, which I put my head in my hands and I'm like, this is going to take hours just to reformat into a spreadsheet that will really allow me to then filter it and scrub it and really start identifying what information in here do I need to know. Which for me is what zip codes have, the largest amount of positions available based on total positions that they have within each zip code. So the first thing I did was I dropped that Word document in ChatGPT and I asked it to reformat it for me. And it did in 20 seconds. I still get goosebumps thinking about it because that was a big aha moment on me on like just even reformatting things that are relatively simple tasks that humans can do, but take just a metric ton of time. There may be ways to merge a Word document into Excel in a spreadsheetable way, but I didn't know how to do it off the cuff, so I just had AI do it for me. And after it did, I asked it to take the data set that I provided to it and give me the recommendations of the top 10 zip codes to target. So based on the budget that they were providing, I wanted to get an idea of inventory avails. So I wanted to start with the top 10, and this is what it provided. Woodbridge 22193, population of 83,000 with 26 remaining positions left to fill. And I was looking, I'm like 26 remaining, okay, 18 remaining, 20, 18, 13, 14. These are all of the zip codes that have the lowest number of positions left to fill. So I started wondering, I'm like, why, like, what's its rationale in this? So I really then started to get curious of like, I wonder how this is thinking or how it's interpreting the prompts I'm giving. So I'm completely disconnected from trying to win this sale at this point. I'm fully geeking over how AI is absorbing this data and interpreting it. So I asked it why, give me the rationale for the recommendations. And essentially what it's saying in short is that it's providing those recommendations of zip codes with the largest population but lowest number of remaining positions would indicate that those zip codes have a higher propensity of filling those seats because this type of job is more popular within those zip codes. It speaks well or better to that audience. Which was a very interesting way to look at this, and kind of a risky one, but one that I said, you know what, I'm going to go with. And this was the first thing that I believe helped me win the sale was this here, the rationale in the top 10 zip codes that we chose. So I have this in the back of my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm going to give them something that others may not. I could win this. This could be interesting. So I also needed to provide the client some recommendations on how we would address creative messaging based on the platforms that they've provided to us, which is a completely different pocket now. Now this is content creation. Oh, and one thing I wanted to note, actually, before this, I just want to mention this part, the rationale. This represents critical thinking. This is an example of AI demonstrating the ability to critically think and provide an answer. Which, if you take a moment to just think about machine learning engaging in critical thinking, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. It's evolutionary, honestly, if you think about it. But just wanted to share that. Anyway, so I asked it to provide me some creative examples for new drivers on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Now, I want to note that all of these prompts are happening within one thread. So what I'm prompt layering. If you've done any research on like how to use AI, you'll probably see prompt layering is a pretty trendy term and one that's pretty important. As you're continuing to engage essentially in a chat thread, AI understands the context for subsequent prompts based on the prompts and the outputs that it's provided above. So, as you're using AI, keep the topic in which you're using it for housed in one thread. If you have, I do once a month a video for a health and fitness facility that specializes in youth athletes. We feature an athlete of the month. And I use AI to create a video outline. And I have it all housed in the same chat thread month after month because it understands the context. I can take my short notes, plop it in, and then it's creating me a whole video outline, including like inspo quotes needed to pop up at specific times and things like that, because that chat thread has been trained to do that. So just tip or trick on how to use AI. You don't always have to use different threads for the same task, maybe for different clients. House a task within a thread that you can use for multiple clients. It'll just continue to get better and better as you continue to train it within that thread. And that's what I've done here with providing creative examples for Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. So some examples, Facebook ad creative, ad copy, discover the open road, join our trucking team today with an image of a professional driver and a clean and modern truck showcasing the company logo. Call to action, apply now, learn more. Discover the open road. Instagram's ad creative, fuel the future with a thriving trucking career. An image of a vibrant and visually appealing photo of a truck driver on the open highway, evoking a sense of adventure. It provided hashtags because hashtags are much better housed in Instagram than any other platform, including Facebook. And then for Snapchat, ready to drive, join our fast-paced trucking company today. And then it's noting creating an image or video of a short, dynamic video highlighting the excitement of and freedom of the trucking profession, featuring diverse drivers in different landscapes, provide interactive elements. It'll give you, here are some suggestions on how to optimize, ensure ads are clean and compelling and things like that. So I also was curious because I could see what it was doing. I felt like it was creating copy specifically for the audiences in which these social channels orbit around. So I asked it for its rationale again. I was curious, and my assumption was correct. For Facebook, it says Facebook tends to have a slightly older use base. It makes it ideal platform for an audience that may have more experience and interest in the trucking careers. The ad copy emphasizing discover the open road appeals to individuals who may be seeking a change in career or new adventure. For Instagram has a large user base of younger individuals, making it a suitable platform to target a demographic that may be interested in trucking careers, maybe new, getting into the career. The ad creative or ad copy focuses on fueling the future to align with the aspirations and drive of a younger audience. If someone's looking to hop into a career and they feel like a career they may be getting in actually does have a future, it's pretty compelling. And then for Snapchat, predominantly being used by the youngest demographic, it says that it makes an effective platform to target individuals who are just starting their careers or considering various job options. The ad copy conveys a sense of urgency and highlights the fast-paced nature of the trucking industry. So it started creating recommendations based on the audience in which each platform provides without me having to provide a context on the audience that each platform speaks to. Um, that's a huge time saver for me. It does understand Facebook does have an older audience than Instagram, which has an older audience than Snapchat. We all know that as marketers. Um, and ChatGPT having that insight kind of embedded in already really helped me be much more efficient and uh, much more dialed in. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I have everything I need. So I need to then kind of button everything up. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Well, I might as well let it, create me an email as well. So I want all of this information that's in this chat thread or in this prompt thread. I want you to take all of it and I want you to really distill it down into the highlights, highlighting the key values and the strategies throughout this thread. So this is what it provides back. Subject: join our thriving trucking team. Optimized digital advertising proposal. I read that and I'm like, well, crap. Okay, it's missing the mark. And then as I'm reading through, and I'm not going to read through all of this, but the pros are, it did absolutely pick out the different highlights. By analyzing individual audiences on social channels, we've tailored our approach to engage and captivate potential candidates. Our campaign leverages platforms that resonates with experienced professionals, young aspirants, and individuals just starting their careers. Additionally, we've analyzed your zip code file, considering both the number of remaining contracts and areas with higher population but lower remaining contracts. This approach allows us to target high interest areas and maximize visibility and engagement. Then it goes into, we're confident that our approach is optimized. We look forward to discussing details. Thank you for your consideration. It was good, not great. It wasn't my tone. So essentially, I asked it to try again. It did provide me a little bit better of a response. One thing I do find is, and what a lot of people use ChatGPT for, or any AI, it's like, write me an email. And it seems like it's kind of devolved, I guess is probably the best word for it. I think it's gotten worse now than this, which has been about a year ago. Usually every email starts with, I hope this email finds you well, which some like, but when I see solicitation coming into me from potential vendors that want my business, and I see, I hope this email finds you well, I know more chances than not that email was created by AI in some capacity. So creating a large swath of text, I think, is really something that, while it's being worked on to improve, is a bit of a weakness. So I was able to take this and I massaged it obviously into my own words, made it sound a little more approachable, a little less robotic. This was before I really started AI layering or AI stacking. If I took this to Claude and I said humanize it, it would then humanize it probably a little too much. When you ask AI to humanize, it really goes very Ned Flanders. If anyone watches The Simpsons, it's like, howdy ho, neighbors, or howdy ho, so you have to ask it to dial it down. So you can massage it through prompting, or you can take the information it gives and then you can just kind of take it those last 10 yards to a touchdown by just changing it the way that you want to have it changed. So after I sent that email out, I kind of sat here and like, man, what did it do for us? What has AI really done for us on this? It helped us generate the lead, and I attribute AI, at least in part, in helping us generate the lead, because we do use AI to do some light foundational SEO on our website. When we first launched our site, we got a lot of bot emails through our forms, no shortage of generic Viagra and other these pills and this and that, and things that were obviously very spammy, to the point where we got used to just not even seeing the spam. It would just go to junk and kind of filter out on its own. But when this came through, we almost missed it, just because we assumed by default, if we're getting anything from our website, it's spam. But once we realized it was legitimate, we kind of all pumped our hands in the air and uh, uh, spoke out in some excitement. And we are seeing more and more relevant leads coming in through our site. So I believe the SEO work that we're doing through AI onto our website is really paying off. It helped us segment the client's customer base. Obviously, it helped us with the research and analysis side with the zip codes that they provided. It gave us, content ideas. It helped us with sales communication with its email. And then it created the full proposal summary, which was kind of a typical agreement proposal summary that I can't share because it has client information, but it came out professional and client ready. In fact, it provided it to us in a PDF, or excuse me, in a Word document that then we could kind of put our logo on top, PDF it, and send it out, and no one's the wiser. In doing that, we landed them that day. From start to finish, it took us a little over an hour. I say us because I kind of trained to say us, but it took me a little over an hour. Within 20 minutes, we were the first one that got back, and we provided them exactly what they were looking for. So they are a six-figure client to this day. They're still running advertising with us, and we landed that advertiser in less than 90 minutes, which is not normal. I'm not saying get on AI and you're going to start landing clients within an hour and a half, but it happened, and it was with the effective use of AI. So when you're looking at how to use AI, it can help you be more cost efficient, provide a better return on investment for the ad dollars that you spend. It helps you be more effective in ad placements, and it can help better user engagement and customer loyalty for your client to their client base or customer base. It provides relevant and personal ad experiences. It can provide high quality and informative content, which improves user engagement and overall satisfaction, all things that your clients ask for out of you as a marketer. I believe that, obviously AI is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to morph and evolve. It's a bit of a wild west right now because there's not any central oversight in AI, and good luck on trying to pull the world together to come up with an agreeable central oversight. That'll be interesting to see, unless it's like, NATO. There's going to be, and there already is, an increased focus on how to use AI ethically and responsibly for us in our industry within news media, most specifically within the editorial side of things. I always joke that, ethics, I'm in advertising, I don't have to think about ethics, but in reality, you absolutely do. We are transparent with our clients on how we use AI and what we use AI for. In fact, we had to do a relatively in-depth proposal for a higher education institution here in Maryland that acquired another higher ed institution. And when we looked at their marketing collateral and personas, they didn't have any. We are a needs-based marketing agency, so personas are very important. And I was able to use AI to create persona profiles per program. And there were 22 programs that we initially had to propose for, anywhere from the higher ed that they acquired was integrative health. So it's things like yoga, acupuncture, Ayurveda, cannabis quality control. Didn't know that was a thing, but now you can go to school for that. But creating, using AI to help create persona profiles, I tethered AI into a search engine called Consensus. And Consensus is a search engine that uses data from research papers from around the world, which are the basis of how personas are made. And we were able to create 22 different personas within a few hours by using AI, and we hit the nail on the head. Client loved it. And we were able to charge handedly for it, a 5-digit number, because to have a New York-based marketing agency do that, you're going to pay $50,000, $60,000. we were able to come in under that and be much more effective. So, AI will continue to grow. AI is not going away, that I can see. There will be wins, there will be losses in AI, but again, I stress, understand its ethics, its transparency, and use AI as a tool to where you're not the nail and it the hammer. And if you can look at it from that standpoint, um, it's amazing how you can use AI to further yourself forward professionally in a profession where time is few and far between. We cannot generate more time for ourselves, so we need to make the time that we have more efficient.
Kevin?
In saying all that, please, here's my card. Get your QR code readers out and scan. And this is all of my information. If anyone has any questions after this on think tanking, the best way to use AI for a specific task, I love geeking out and think tanking with those that I share my information with. So I do always respond. Feel free to reach out. And while everyone's kind of QR coding that, Linda, or are there any questions in the chat? Or
Yes, I have a question from Chuck. He says he's wondering if you have any recommended AI tools or approaches for generating presentations or proposals, PowerPoint or otherwise, and or detailed advertising campaign schedules.
Yeah, so this presentation, or the first iteration of this presentation, was actually created by AI. I did use a GPT model that was out of ChatGPT. I don't recall specifically what it is, but it is on our. Here's the gift that that's a perfect question. Kind of tee this up. We created a most useful AI's website list. So if you want, scan this QR code. Totally going to ask you for your name and email. We do not bombard you with emails. You'll get a monthly newsletter that is us geeking out about what's going on in AI. But that is in there. But I always use ChatGPT, even still right now, as my main AI, because it's not kitschy or cheesy, right? There's so many different AI products out there now that claim that it can do something, and they're usually freemiums. Try it out for a day and then pay X amount, or a lot of them are credit based. Purchase X amount of credits to use it X amount of times. But for a presentation, I use ChatGPT to create an outline of the presentation, right down to tell me what information, word for word, I want to copy and paste text to put on a slide. And it allowed me to do that. Some of these texts right here were recommended by AI. Now I look at it and I say, okay, do I agree with it? Do I not? Or is it taking the information I provided to it and wording it in a way that's much less wordy than I am? I think you all can tell by now I'm a very wordy guy. So it did help in that respect. And then, it's amazing. Like, once you have the information kind of thought out for you, creating the slides itself are much more, are much quicker. That said, Gemini does have the ability to create a presentation within Google Slides, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, it's good, not great. It's a freemium. You can put in a certain amount of information that's going to ask you to pay. But in doing that, I feel like it's always, like, at this point with where AI is now, and if AI is a toddler now, I would say by this time next year, it's probably going to be a grumpy teenager. But I think some of those things, as visual AI continues to improve, I think things like presentation creation and things like that will be much easier. Another great one is Canva, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. If you're looking to find, a platform that does use AI in some capacity to help create presentations, Canva is great. And Canva's free. Their paid version obviously has a lot more templates. But I recently did a presentation on AI in real estate for a client of mine who's a mortgage lender, and he holds lunch and learns for his realtors. It's a part of his relationship nurturing process with his client base. And I did that presentation in Canva. because it was, I could do it quickly. So it was able to like take a body of information. I could choose what deck that I wanted to use. So I just typed in AI presentation and comes up with 50 different presentation decks. And then it kind of created the presentation for me. It looked great. Canva can output to PowerPoint, or you can present right out of Canva. So honestly, I would say probably Canva that's the one I've used.
Okay. I have one more question. What's the biggest mistake people make with AI?
Yeah. Biggest mistake they make is assuming that it's flawless and that the information that it's providing back is empirically accurate and correct. And you get caught that way. I'll share a quick example. So again, I mentioned that I do videos for a regional health and fitness facility that specializes in youth athletes. The videos target parents. They're the ones that have the money to spend to put their kids into these programs. And the videos are structured by, interviewing the athlete, interviewing the coach at the gym in which is assigned to the athlete, and then getting some B-roll. So when I was interviewing the coach said, I really, there's a motivational message about, would you rather take $1 million now or double a penny, take a penny and double it every day for 30 days? And he's like, I don't remember how much if you take a penny and double it every day for 30 days, you get a lot more than $1 million. But I don't remember how much it is. So I asked on short notice, I asked ChatGPT, and it said something like $2.8 billion. And I'm like, whoa, it's, I thought it to be true. So I'm like, well, it's 2.8 billion. And the client pretty quickly is like, no, it's definitely not. So then we took out a calculator and did it. And it was something like, I don't know, 1.8 million or something like that. So that's an example of just me using AI without skepticism, right? You always need to be skeptical with AI because at the end of the day, you can't blame it on AI to a client if you got it wrong, because you're ultimately the one that has to answer for it. If you are having AI analyze large data sets, spot check, like the zip codes, I did spot check, making sure right down to, okay, does this zip code really have only 28 left or not? You may find as you go along that after, you spot check for a few times and it is correct, that you gain probably more trust, at least right now, than you should in AI. I love AI. I think AI is great. I think it's a powerful tool and it's a great example of technological evolution, but it is not there yet. It is not the way that AI is billing it to be. It does hallucinate. It does get things wrong. So again, making sure that you spot check and use it as a tool. Don't let it just create blogs for you. There's negative SEO implications for that. Use it instead to create outlines for a blog that you can then write, or, if you're blogging on your marketing website or whatever the case may be, just have some healthy skepticism when using it to ensure the information that it's providing is accurate, especially if that information will end up being client facing. Yeah.
Hi. I don't
So
see.
are there
No, I don't see any other questions coming in right now, and I know that you have a hard stop because you have to get to a 1 o'clock. This was amazing. It's mind blowing the things that AI can do, and this trucking company proposal that you
it's
did.
pretty it's
Yeah. Go ahead. I
yeah,
didn't mean to
it's
interrupt
pretty
you.
incredible.
Yeah.
No, you're good. No, it's absolutely incredible. And like I said, if you want to kind of dip your toe in the water, download ChatGPT to your phone. It is literally and there will be many iterations that look like ChatGPT, even kind of using a very similar iteration of its logo. But it is literally iPhone ChatGPT. It's going to be a white background with its black logo. You'll tether it to your ChatGPT account. It is free to use. And try it out. I was quoted in Editor and Publisher. I don't know why they picked this quote, but it was, when in doubt, ask it for a good banana bread recipe. And as funny as that sounds, it's absolutely true. It's I did it, I tried it, I made it, and it was amazing. So you will find personally where it can help you, and that really will help translate over to like, man, if it saves me time here personally, it can
Right.
save me time the equivalency professionally. So just dip your toes in. Don't be scared of it. It is not Skynet. It is not going to be launching nukes at us anytime soon. Hopefully, maybe not, but always say please and thank you. So if it does take over the world, they will spare us. So
Now, it's a fantastic example using it effectively with this trucking company, and personally, opening up my fridge and taking a picture and asking it what to make for dinner. Amazing.
it's incredible. It's incredible. It has eyes now. You know, it has eyes. It has a voice. You know, it's very much. It's a great personal assistant. The last thing I will share, use it as a think tank partner. I use it a lot to help optimize my sales strategy and sales pitches. You can pitch to it uh, by voice, and it will give you really good insights and recommendations on. You said this. If you say it this way, it will be more powerful and less wordy, you know, or it'll be more optimized. You know, you can use it as a think tank partner. It's amazing that way.
That is amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, Kevin. There's so much more that we all have to learn about it, and having people like you who really have delved into it much more than we have is really, really helpful. Appreciate it.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everyone that stayed on and let me geek out, thank you so much for listening to what I had to say. And hopefully AI will help make your job more effective and more efficient. Never reach out with any, or never hesitate to reach out with any questions to me. I'm always happy to answer them. And then, you know, keep a lookout. We do AI workshops all the time. We're getting ready to roll out one on AI stacking and prompt layering. So keep a lookout for that if anyone wants to attend. They're always free. I just want to get the information out there for it to help people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yes,
All
somebody's
right.
asking if they'll get the recording or the slides, and we will have the recording for everybody. Thanks so much, Kevin. Great
Absolutely.
seeing you.